Well, friends, we might finally actually have a little hint of actual school safety, not gun control. But first, guys, go check out my friends over at cmmg Rifles. Go to cmmg.com. Check out their Descent. This Descent has an amazing new action that you've got to see to believe it. You want to get your hands on one. It comes in several different calibers and several different colors. Go to their website. You can get anything on their website for 10% off if you use my discount code FTATF. Again, my discount code is FTATF. Use it, get 10% off at cmmg.com. The Texas House overwhelmingly passed a new school security bill that would require, among other things, armed security in all Texas schools. Now, we have one whiny Democrat here that really wants gun control, not save children, and he whines saying, "I'm angry. I've got PTSD. Wah! These families are just destroyed." Gutierrez, who also represents Uvalde, doesn't think Republican lawmakers are doing enough to help pass what he refers to as meaningful gun safety legislation. Obviously, he wants things banned, or he wants people not to have access to a constitutional right-protected object, meaning an AR-15. He says we can start where we can start with 18, 19, 20-year-olds, eliminate the AR-15s, universal background orders, and extreme risk protection orders. This isn't rocket science. It's easy, but they don't want to do it. Mr. Gutierrez has apparently never read the Constitution of the United States. I understand that it may not be important to him, and I understand that he's probably getting paid a handsome amount of money from the anti-gun wackos on the far left who want to ban things. This guy wants to limit gun ownership to 21 and older. This guy wants red flag laws. This guy wants to ban AR-15s. This guy would rather see dead children in his own district than meaningful safety that secures our schools. But this is just like every other wacko Democrat out there who's trying to ban things and get a name for himself in the anti-gun community. Now, under the current language of the bill, a school district could arm a teacher to meet the requirements of having an armed officer at every campus. Now, this would be a great thing. I think that this is one of the pieces of this bill that needs to be looked at a little bit more in depth. In other words, let's allow teachers who are qualified to carry and protect around our children, because remember, we're talking about armed guns or armed teachers around our children. And I've met many teachers that I don't trust with a firearm. Of course, Gutierrez didn't like that either. "I'm just not happy with the volunteer weekend warrior cop. No offense." This is a person, and I don't say this jokingly, I mean this. This is the person who doesn't understand anything about the gun culture or gun ownership. I can tell you this person probably owns a shotgun or a 22 or something like that, but this person is not a gun rights advocate, and this person is not an avid gun user. The reason why I say that is because with the old tired weekend warrior cop thing or something like that, this guy thinks that people pretend that they're weekend warriors or that they're weekend cops and stuff like that when they go to the range. This guy has some weird myth in his head, like a lot of the wackos on the anti-gun left, and he thinks that people are pretending to play a role. Remember, this is the person who probably can't define a man or a woman and thinks that a man can pretend to be a woman, and that's perfectly okay. But yet he still thinks that we are pretending to be something that we're not. None of us that train on the weekends, none of us that take it upon ourselves to get a little bit more proficient with our firearms, none of us who promote gun safety, none of us, and I'm talking about gun safety, handling of guns so you don't accidentally shoot people, and safe handling of guns. I don't mean banning things. That is not gun safety and never has been. They've hijacked that phrase. But this guy doesn't understand what we do. He thinks that as shallow as they can be on the left, that we are equally shallow in that we own a gun and we want to pretend all of a sudden. Doesn't realize that we take this very seriously. We have a very strong burden that we put on ourselves as gun owners, and as far as safety and protecting ourselves. And guess what? Protecting people who disagree with us and would seek to disarm us. We still protect them. When we go out in public and we have a firearm on our side, we are not looking at what somebody's political affiliation is to decide whether or not we're going to protect them. I could have the most anti-gun rabid nut job next to me, and if somebody comes in this room to try to shoot people, I'm not going to go, "Him first, the blue-haired guy, that's the one you need to take first." No, I'm protecting this nutbag to my left just as much as I am myself and my own family in this same room. Gutierrez even went so far as to point out the dozen of armed law enforcement officers who waited 77 minutes before taking out the gunman at the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. So wait a minute, let me get this straight. You're telling me that you don't think we should have armed people in the school or armed teachers in the school, because 77 law enforcement officers were too cowardly to come inside the school. Yet you would seek to disarm 18, 19, 20-year-olds and anybody who wants an AR-15. You would seek to do all that stuff, which means that you would be more reliant on law enforcement, not less reliant. So you're seeking to disarm people, knowing full well that you lack any confidence in armed law enforcement. Dude, you got to pick a side. Gutierrez went on to run his mouth saying, I tried to be nice, I've tried to be mean, I've tried everything I can to move bills forward that are about gun safety solutions, and we've got none. Until you promote any real gun safety solutions and stop trying to ban things, you will be seen as a joke, Gutierrez. You have to understand that. No one will ever take you serious as long as you continue down this road. Since the Senate passed a similar bill, now both of these bills will go to committee and be discussed, and they're going to have to figure out what amendments they make or anything like that, make adjustments to these bills, and to send it forward. But it passed so overwhelmingly, it's going to make it to the governor's desk. So this is a good thing. This will happen. Now, there is a bill out there that I'm sure Gutierrez is part of, that the Uvalde families, the victims of these families, and other, I guess, surviving families in Uvalde have gotten behind, that want to raise the age to be able to buy an AR-15 to 21 from 18, where it currently is. This is going to sound cold, and this is probably going to piss some people off. And hear me when I say this, because I do not care. I'm going to tell you this from my heart. I feel for the families in Uvalde who lost people. I feel for the people who are still experiencing PTSD. I understand you guys. You went through a horrible situation, and the country as a whole grieved for you. But I could give two rips about what you think when it comes to gun laws. Hear what I'm saying. I sympathize with what you went through, but I don't care what you have to say when it comes to infringing upon my rights. You can suck it. Every one of you families in Uvalde, whether you lost somebody or not, you can suck it, because you don't get to experience a tragedy that somehow or another coronates you to be able to make rules that impact my civil liberties and my rights. That is not your place. I don't care what kind of terror you went through as a person or as a family. Not your place to take my rights. If something bad happens to me, I don't suddenly start infringing upon your rights. So you can kiss my ass.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
It's over!